What's going on, everyone? So Anthony Davis has really shown us a lot with Team USA. Just the defensive impact he has had playing alongside other defensive players. It's not something that is that far-fetched, right? I mean, look at the Lakers when they added Jared Vanderbilt, year and a half ago now, right? We literally went from like middle of the pack defensively to number one defense immediately because Anthony Davis had that other defensive support guy that covered so much ground. Right? It's not that Anthony Davis is just great in a particular area on the defensive side. It's the ground in which he covers, right? Look at a guy like a Rudy Gobert. If he is like at the rim and you're trying to challenge him, yeah, good luck with that. But if you can get him out of position or if you can get him in certain areas of the court, he's basically neutralized, right? It's why you see at times him even get played off the basketball court. But somebody like Anthony Davis, his versatility, his ability to defend out on the perimeter, switch on a smaller guy, switch on a bigger guys, it's very few in the league that are as good or even close to him. Right? Like the only guy that really you could say has that defensive versatility is like Giannis and Bam too, but Bam's not as big as Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis he just covers so much ground. And you're seeing with Team USA, him playing and slotted alongside Bam, and it's just like, good luck. Right? Like none of these teams can score. We just run through Serbia. Anthony Davis got like 6 blocks and like 3 of them were on Jokic. Like it's just, you look at the impact that Anthony Davis provides and it's like, how do you not see the simple formula here? Go get Anthony Davis, that other versatile defensive big. Now, the thing is, there aren't this like huge array on the market, right? Bam isn't available to where it's like, man, if we go get Bam, that's it. But you do have guys in a Walker Kessler and a Wendell Carter Jr., 2 guys that I do think that, yes, they're not to the level in which Bam is, but they slotted alongside Anthony Davis would make for an incredible defensive duo, an incredible defensive pairing, right? We need something like that. If you can go and get a Walker Kessler, slot him alongside Anthony Davis with Kessler's versatility. He's a guy that can move too. He's a guy that is very good at shuffling his feet, defending in the pick and roll, defending and blocking shots at the rim. If you can put Anthony Davis essentially in that scout role, right? And then have that big guy that can be versatile on the defense side as well, I think you'll get a very similar formula to what you're seeing with the NBA. Also, you look at the scale, right? It's like you outside of like the Jokic, the Embiids of the world, right? It's very limited as far as like the skill and talent level at the center position, right? I'm not saying that there aren't good centers, but what I'm saying is that like there's only like a few matchups that are just incredibly challenging, right? And incredibly taxing. For the most part, guys like Anthony Davis or like Walker Kessler, they can hold their own on an island. So the talent level in which that a duo of, say, a Kessler and Davis would have to defend, particularly on the interior, is not going to be as high game in and game out. So the impact is going to be greater, right? Because you can have Anthony Davis basically patrol and cover the entire court at that point. And then if you can get a guy like a Walker Kessler or get a guy like a Wendell Carter Jr., who they can also cover ground. Wendell Carter at this point, I believe, can cover more ground, right? His ability to step out, but he's also not as big as Kessler. So I do think that there is an argument to get Kessler. I did a whole video kind of breaking down Kessler and Carter. Personally, I still lean towards Kessler. I would not be upset by any stretch of the imagination if we are able to get a Wendell Carter, right? If you get a Carter Jr., that's absolute money to me. But I just like the idea of Kessler because, one, his upside, his youth, his versatility on the defensive side still, right? He's not as good defending out on the perimeter as like a Wendell Carter Jr. is, but he still can at times. If he had to switch, he can hold his own and stay in front of guys and shift his feet. But to me, it's more like he's a true 7-footer. He's a big body that can bang with the big boys. I like his playmaking out of the post. I think it's something that is very underutilized in Utah and something that I do think can only grow and become more valuable. And you can even run sets and actions out of the post through Walker Kessler. Obviously, Walker Kessler still needs a lot of development, still needs a lot of growth to get to that point. I'm not saying he's going to be a Jokic level, but I do think he's a guy that on occasion, hey, offense get a little stagnant here, you dump it down to Kessler and let him go make a play, whether it's him just going and getting a bucket or him, dishing out, kicking it to the open shooter or the cutter, whomever. I also think rebounding, he's a better rebounder, shot blocker. I think he's a better shot blocker. And I think he's a guy that you can mold and shape for the next 10 years as your starting center. Where, again, Wendell Carter Jr., I do think he may even have more potential of the impact now, right? I think he's a guy that also, there is an argument to be made with Wendell Carter Jr., what he could learn from Anthony Davis. Obviously, Walker Kessler can learn a lot from Anthony Davis, but Wendell Carter is more versatile in that regard, and he has the ability to play the 4 or the 5, where Kessler, you're not really sliding him to the 4. Right? Wendell Carter's the better three-point shooter now, although Kessler has shown he can knock down the occasional 3. Doesn't really take a ton of them. Definitely still needs work in that area. Where Wendell Carter, he can take 3 to 4 threes a game, and that's fine. That's like in his comfort zone, and it's not something where it's like, man, like we can't. So to me, I do think that the potential for Wendell Carter slotted alongside Anthony Davis right now is probably better. I just like the more versatility, especially post Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis is going to be on the Lakers forever, right? He has this last contract, then he's going to start getting into like that mid 30 range, and it's like, okay, like how much longer are you going to keep him around? Where a guy like Walker Kessler, even beyond that, it'll be 26, 27, something like that in 5 years, right? So he still would be on the right side of 30. Where Wendell Carter, yes, he'd still kind of be in that range, but like, what is the potential and upside post Anthony Davis with just Wendell Carter? I actually like the Kessler long-term after Anthony Davis departs. Kessler's a guy that can be your foundation piece going forward. It's kind of where I'm at with that. But I don't think there's a wrong answer either way. And to me, it's like, if I'm the Lakers and I'm watching what Anthony Davis is doing with Team USA, I'm watching the defensive impact he is having slotted alongside other defensive guys. And I don't know how you're looking at this and going, no, we need to go get another guard, right? Like, look, and I definitely think we need a 3-and-D wing, right? All of the Lakers' targets have been that. You see Jeremy Grant, Cam Johnson, right? Like, we definitely need that. I'm not saying, like, if the Lakers went and traded for Jeremy Grant tomorrow, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, what are they doing? Look at Anthony. No, I'm going to be stoked about that. That is definitely something of need. A legit 3-and-D, can put the ball on the deck, right? Be versatile. I like the idea of that. But I also think we need to go get that center or versatile power forward, whether it's, Wendell Carter, and that you can slot alongside AD. If we could end up this offseason, and look, I understand a lot of people feel like Lakers aren't going to do anything, you're watching all this stuff. It's always been about the trade, and there's still, like I said, there's a lot of time between now and October. So if we can, between now and then, if we can get, say, a Cam Johnson and like a Wendell Carter, right? To me, you solve like 90% of the Lakers' issues, right? Good coaching, guys kind of playing better and playing in proper position, stuff like that. Like, and I don't think like a Cam Johnson and a Wendell Carter would cost a ton. Walker Kessler would probably cost more than Wendell Carter, but you can also argue that it's worth it for the long term, right? Because like, your hope at some point is to draft a guy like Kessler. If you basically already have that guy for the next 10 plus years, if he was like 28, and was where he's at right now, I'd probably be like, nah, like go get Wendell Carter. But to me, it's like, okay, you want to get that 3-and-D wing, fine, get that. But you got to get one of these other guys. You got to get a Kessler. You got to get a Carter Jr. You got to get somebody that you can slot alongside Anthony. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to start them, right? Like, if you want to start LeBron at the 4, right, that's fine. You could go, whatever, let's say they get Cam Johnson, right? You could go, and let's say you ship it, you could go like Reeves, Christie, Johnson, LeBron, and AD, right? Just using that as an example. And then, have that next wave that comes in, and, LeBron goes to the bench at the 5-minute mark, boom, you bring in a Wendell Carter. Or you bring in a Kessler and you shift AD to the 4. And now you have those two bigs. And now you're running that versatility with like a Johnson, a to say Carter and Anthony Davis, right? Now, I just think that would be so much better. And now you've kind of solved a lot of your issues, from rebounding to defense to shooting to, just the versatility out there on the basketball court. Those are the kind of moves, in my opinion, that the Lakers really need to find. They need to go figure, what does it cost to get Walker Kessler? What does it cost to get a Wendell Carter Jr.? Do you have to do a trade over here to get one of those guys? I've proposed the idea of, what if you go and trade for Zach LaVine? I know people aren't super big on Zach LaVine, but what if you could get Zach LaVine and then get the assets in that trade to get a Kessler trade done or get a Carter Jr. trade done, right? If you can do something that kind of leads to more, to which then you could go get that other piece, and now it's okay, well, yeah, we didn't get the 3AD guy, but Zach LaVine's raising the ceiling tremendously, and then you also got that versatile center to put alongside Anthony Davis, right? You could go Reeves. You could have LeBron slotted at the point if you needed to, right? I mean, he's doing it for Team USA. I mean, I'm not super high, but on the offensive side, I think you get away with it. But you got to get that versatility. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of, yes, after what we're seeing with Anthony Davis, you got to go get that other piece. You got to go get that Kessler. You got to go get that Carter. You got to get somebody like that can slot in and really help Anthony Davis on the defense side of things. Do you think, no, just stick to the plan? Or do you want to run it back? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.